Peace, peace, beautiful beings. This is Coach Vee. I am a certified holistic life coach and intuitive coach, speaker, author, and the creator of the Mental Health the Sexy brand. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. This is episode 11 of Coach Vee's Mental Health Mukbang. Yay! If you're new to my channel, Coach Vee's Mental Health Mukbang is when I have a candid conversation about mental health while enjoying a meal. Some of these videos are sponsored by business owners or restaurants. Sometimes I make the food myself out of my kitchen. And sometimes I just bring me some leftovers from an evening out. So I recently went to the Olive Garden here with my country boy, and we had a lot of food. They're unlimited salad and breadsticks. We had some gnocchi soup. So of course I didn't finish all of my entree. So when I bring leftovers home from a restaurant, I immediately think, boom, I'll have that during my next mukbang. So today is the day y'all get to see my leftovers from the Olive Garden. Now, of course, I've already heated them up. I've already dressed them. Now, y'all know I loves me my hot sauce. And this is, and I even left it in a container. So this is the chicken Alfredo tortellini. This is something new. So they usually have the fettuccine noodles with the Alfredo sauce and with the grilled chicken and all the spices and herbs. However, this particular one has tortellini shells filled with, I think, ricotta cheese and Asiago. Don't quote me on the cheese, but it's tortellini noodles stuffed with cheese. And then, of course, you have the Alfredo sauce and you have the grilled chicken. Now, again, I'll put me some hot sauce on everything. And I always get an extra side of Alfredo sauce. So, of course, I use that at the restaurant, mix it up. And this is just a portion I have left over. And I'm remembering again that I did not give thanks before I started recording. So we're about to pause this video because we ain't starting that intro over because that intro was lit. So we're just about to pause so I can give thanks and then I'll be right back. All right, y'all, did you miss me? I'm back. All right, I'm just trying to make sure the timer is, yes. Okay, so we're back. And I got me some new contacts in so I can see better. And then, of course, the day that I have on new contacts, I wear a light colored shirt. So now the timer is still over my shirt. So I can't really see the time. But if I do this, there we go. That gives it a more solid background. I can keep my eye on the timer because, you know, we're trying to keep these mukbangs around 30 minutes or so. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, while I was reheating my food, I had some Doritos Dinamita Chile Limon little crunchy chip things. I think it's a spin off the Takis. I think these have a little more lime flavor. And then I have my styrofoam cup full of Barks root beer soda. And found my fork so we can get into this. Now, so when I ate my food at the restaurant, it was really, really good. However, I'm thinking because I'm so used to the fettuccine noodles and that consistency with the noodles, that probably why I prefer the old-fashioned Alfredo over this newfangled tortellini stuffed cheese noodle stuff. Now, here's one of the noodles. And of course, mine's all doused in hot sauce. But here's one of the noodles. See, it's like a... I learned the hand thing from YouTube beauty channels. But see, it's like a stuffed noodly. It's not like a ravioli. It's a tortellini noodle. But they stuff it with cheese. And then you still, like I said, get the grilled chicken with the Alfredo, buttery Alfredo sauce. But for some reason, and it may just be me, so y'all have to try the Red Lobster and let me know what you think. But for some reason, I feel like the tortellini noodles are messing up the chewing consistency of an Alfredo, if that makes sense. Is that some fat girl stuff, or do that make sense? So that's how I feel. Again, I enjoyed the meal. It wasn't horrible. I didn't send it back. I just feel like the next time I go, I'm going to order the traditional fettuccine Alfredo with the noodles, and just so I can do the whole spinny thing with the fork. Like, it's the experience. If you know what I'm talking about, please leave in the comments so I'm not out here on an island by myself. But sometimes we just enjoy the consistency of certain foods. So when people try to remix it, it's just like, eh. And it's not necessarily that the food was bad tasting. It's just the consistency. Please, somebody let me know in the comments that I'm not alone and that I'm making sense and I'm not sounding like this crazy foodie who just don't want to try new things. Because it's so not me. So we're going to talk about today. Y'all, I done put that whole noodle in there. All right. So there's a lot that's been going on, right? And before I get into that, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the notification bell so that you're immediately notified when I upload new content. My channel is totally and completely dedicated to mental health and healing techniques, conversations, whatever, without medication. The mental health mukbang is just one piece. It went right into the lid, right on piece. Did y'all see that projectile? It was like a noodle. Excuse me, y'all. The mental health mukbangs are just one piece of the information or content that I offer here on my YouTube channel. But everything here is dedicated to mental health and healing without medication, except for my little playlist that has TikTok videos on it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it there, if I'm going to private it. But I thought it just would be cool to let y'all see like another fun, quirky actress, comedian side of me. And then you can follow me on TikTok if you want. So, okay. Now that we got the housekeeping out the way, let me take my slides off. Okay. As you can see from the title, and as you can see from the opening photo, we're going to talk about sis Jeannie Mai. If you don't know, Jeannie Mai has been like fake trending, real trending, because she made a statement about her desire to be submissive in her next marriage. If you don't know, she's been rocking heavy for at least a year now with the rapper Young Jeezy. I think Jeezy was an ice cream man back in the day. With the ice cream, was that him? I got all the Youngs mixed up. I know it wasn't Young Jock. I think it was Jeezy. But y'all can let me know in the comments. But anyway, she's been dating Young Jeezy. They're getting pretty serious. They're getting married. And on an episode of The Real, she just mentioned that, hey, I want to be submissive to my man. I do. And I think the way that she described it ruffled some feathers a little bit. But I want to say, and I hope this isn't an unpopular opinion, but I understood what sis was saying. I understood her completely, 100%. I didn't feel offended. I don't feel like I took anything out of context. I felt like she was basically saying, I want to be submissive to my husband because I've been a boss for so long. And I know that I have a dominating personality. I got it from Mama Mai. So this next marriage, I just want to be able to chill and fall back, let my man take the lead. Now, she was clear and said that, hey, I'm not saying he's going to make all the final decisions. I'm just saying I want him to take the lead. I want him to consider my input, but I want him to take the lead. Like, it's exhausting being a boss. And I saw absolutely nothing wrong with what she said. Specifically because I oftentimes felt that way before I met my husband. I didn't own a business at the time, but I was always in management. So I was running businesses for other people. I was in the retail space. I was in the rent-to-own space, which is very challenging. I ventured into the pawn shop, which is kind of like a different version of rent-to-own. The clientele is still the same. The mentality is still the same. The stress is still the same, maybe worse. But I've always had a managerial, supervisory, boss type of title. Just never ran my own stuff, but, you know, ran other people's stuff successfully. To add to that, I've always been the head of my household. Since I moved out of my mom's house at 18, I've only had two addresses as an adult. Again, before I got married, I had my apartment from 18 to 25. And then the second half of me being 25, the second half of me being 25, I purchased a house. And just for me and my children. And I was in that house until I met my husband. And then I moved into his house. Now, mind you, we've only been together 4.5 years. So all that time, I was head of household, independent, doing my own thing, running other people's businesses, working 50, 60 hours a week. A single mom of 2 children. It was just a lot on my plate. So that meant I took out my trash every week. If something was broken in my house, I had to call someone if I couldn't fix it. If I had car trouble, like, it was exhausting being in charge. It was exhausting being a boss. It was exhausting taking the trash to the curb. And I just remember always saying, there's going to be some time where I'm not going to have to be head of household, where I'm not going to have to make all the decisions. There won't be so much pressure on me because I'm going to have a husband who is going to be there and lead, right? So because I already had those ideas and feelings years ago, when I heard Jeannie Mai say that out of her mouth, I didn't take offense. I didn't feel like, oh, I got to stand up and unite and have this woman empowerment and burn the bras type of movement. I completely and totally understood what Jeannie was saying. What I didn't understand and what I still don't understand is why her co-host took such offense to what she said. Oh, no, not me. I ain't gonna let nobody. Like, really? I'm sorry, y'all. It is cold to me in the house. That's why I have my sweater on. I got my little napkin because it's chilly in here to me. And it's just weird. You know, the weather in the Midwest is just weird. So anyway, I didn't understand what the big deal was. I didn't. I don't understand why it seemed like the co-host like verbally attacked her, jumped on her like, girl, what you talking about? I'm only gonna do this and what you mean. And I've even listened to some of my favorite YouTubers basically explain that they felt like the way Jeannie explained it is what set other people. The food is so juicy, my mouth is all watery. And my Wendy Williams stuff, I'm salivating. I listened to some of my favorite YouTubers that shared that maybe how Jeannie Mai explained herself initially is what set people off. And then when Jeannie Mai had an opportunity to circle back and re-explain what she meant, then her co-host was like, oh, okay, I understand. Whatever, I ain't on that. I just don't believe there was anything wrong or offensive or to be misunderstood by Jeannie. Here's what I will say, though. When people have a handle on their mental health, when people have a handle on understanding that they are only solely responsible for their own behavior, no one else's, they're only solely responsible for their own thoughts and speech and no one else's, people will have a tendency to be less offended or not as quickly offended when other people say stuff that they don't agree with. And I just feel like people jump so quick to be offended, even if it's not intentional. People are so quick to be offended by what someone says versus listening for understanding or listening to ask a follow-up question to have that person explain what they mean. Even if I didn't agree with what Jeannie explained about her wanting to be submissive to Jeezy, I want to turn my face up and got offended. Think about how many times you see something on TV or you hear something in the store or a friend of yours says something and then they vibing with you and you turn your face up. Like you express judgment non-verbally with your face before you even let the judgment come out of your mouth. Think about it. Think about how many times you do that. And to be clear, I still do it too. I'm just aware that I do it, so I don't do it as much. And then when I do it, I do like a self-inventory or reevaluation or an internal scan of myself to find out, okay, why did I react that way? Just because they think that way or follow these particular steps don't mean I have to do it. So why am I so bad? Why am I so bothered? Right? I did that on purpose. This is the one for food. And this is the one for this. So, before people jump in my comments or send me a message on my website, let me explain something. Because I'm in a mental health space, not clinically, but alternatively and holistically, I share some views and opinions that may rub you the wrong way at first. And if I feel I've done that, I'm going to explain myself a little bit so that you can understand. Not to convert you per se, but just to give you a clear comprehension of what I mean, right? So here we go. There's too many people in this world that are hashtag bothered, immediately bothered by what somebody else says, what somebody else thinks about, or what somebody else does. And not only that, it's not just there's too many people bothered, because I get bothered by stuff, right? I'm human. But there's too many people who are not only bothered, but feel obligated to open their mouth and share their opinions, negative opinions I might add, about what somebody else said, thought, or did. From my experience, of my own personal life as well as how I teach my clients, when you get to a space in life where your main priority day in and day out is preserving, sustaining, and maintaining and increasing your mental health, that's 3 full-time jobs all at once. Simply because you have to be aware of your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. And how those 3 things together or independently affect your mental health. So if you are tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to those 3 things for yourself at all times or even most times, there's truly no room or space for you to feel offended and then verbalize your offendedness about what somebody else thought, said, or did. If you don't agree with Jeannie Mai, how she originally explained being submissive to Jeezy, or how she came back and cleared it up, just don't agree with her. And you're not agreeing with her, it goes without saying you won't practice what she's saying she wants to practice. That's it, that's all. But to get bent out of shape, to say negative things, to turn your face up, excuse me, y'all see me dab on them? To do all those things is a sign of poor mental health. There, I said it. It's a sign of poor mental health. Do you think that fitness people or bodybuilders or people who are working hard to improve their physical health, maybe because they're severely obese or maybe they have medical conditions and they know that releasing excess weight will get them off of medication and this, that, and the third, do you think they're really concerned about when somebody posts something that they don't agree with in the physical health realm? I'll wait. There probably are a sprinkle of a few people who get offended, However, more often than not, you have witnessed either on person or on TV or on the internet or read in an article how intense, how focused, and how dedicated people are when they're pursuing their physical health. They stop eating certain things. They stop eating out with friends. It's like they have a laser focus on their physical health. So if somebody says something on YouTube or says something on TV or tweets something out that they don't agree with, 9 times out of 10, they didn't see it because they so focused on their own goals. But if they did see it, they're not so quick to say anything negative or contradictory because they're so focused on their physical health. Because they have a goal. Again, whether that goal is to win a bodybuilding competition, whether that goal is to beat a challenge and get a monetary award, whether that goal is to, live longer for their family, whether that goal is to get back to their high school size, that may just be their motivation because a reunion is coming up, whether their goal is to reduce their diabetic and blood pressure medication, whatever their goal is, people who are pursuing physical health are so tuned in, tapped in, and turned on and focused. I want you to be that focused on your mental health. I want you to be so focused that if Jeannie Mai or Lonnie Love or the president or whoever else say something that you disagree with, that it don't even cause you to bat an eyelash. That you know that doesn't apply to you. That you know that you don't have to follow what they said they're going to do. And so that gives you a sense of peace and inner calm. And it gives you peace up here first. Before we have peace here, we got to have peace up here. That's in our mind. Y'all see my ear? That's in our mind. We got to have peace up here. And the only way for us to have peace up here is to have a regular mental health self-care routine that's healthy and that's something that is sustainable, that can bring us down some pegs and notches when life challenges us. Period, point blank. Again, if I didn't agree with Jeannie Mai, I still would not be hashtag bothered. Like, she's trending for what she said she desires and she wants to do in her marriage. I'm just mind blown right now. Before Corona, there was a huge need for mental health services, right? I'm sure that has escalated astronomically because of the national pandemic. Well, it's more than national, but I'm just talking about the U.S. because that's where I am. People are seeking stress relief, other things to do with their time, so much so that there's an increase in minding other people's business. I said it. I mean, it's simple to me. You don't want to be submissive in your marriage, just don't. Let Jeannie do what she doing, and you do what works for you, like, period. But I want to touch on too before we go. That was so good. And it's starting to cool off because I'm a little salty because I've been so amped up talking about this. But we're going to push through because it ain't cold all the way yet. We're going to push through. I want to talk about what I believe the need for two partners to be mentally sound and practice regular mental health routines together in order for a marriage or relationship of submission like that to work. Here's why. When I talk about submission, that doesn't mean that I'm beneath you. That doesn't mean that I am not as smart as you, not as talented as you. My business ain't as popping as yours. My celebrity isn't as popping as yours. I'm not prettier than you. My family upbringing was worse than yours. That's not what submission means to me. When I talk about being submissive in a relationship, and how mental health plays a huge part in that. Good mental health plays a huge part in that. I'm talking about the ability to fall back and allow your man to take the lead. You often hear me refer to my husband as my country boy. He's from Alabama, big guy, melanated, meat and potatoes type of man. He will eat that every day if I let him. Fried chicken and potatoes. Loves cornbread, black eyed peas. Like, he is a true Alabama boy, like a true country boy. Hardworking. It's wired in his DNA to provide for his family. Whether his family be biological or whether his family be through marriage, whether his family be whoever he's dating, that's how he's wired. And I love and admire so much his country boy mentality when it comes to hard work. That's why I refer to him as country boy, because I'm proud of it. And then it reminds me of what I have. I never, ever, ever in the past 4.5 years had to worry about if I could turn the faucet and the water comes on, if I can flip the switch and the lights work, if the heat works, if we'll have food to eat, if we have gas in our vehicles, if we have an accident or recover, do we have car insurance? Like, there are those basic needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs that I just know I don't ever have to worry about. If I don't make another video, make another sale, book another speaking engagement, coach another audience, I know that those things I just mentioned will still be taken care of, because it's weaved in the very fabric of my husband's DNA to take care of those things. With that being said, I have the utmost confidence in him to make a decision or to lead our family. I have the utmost respect for him because he does not abuse that privilege that I give to him. Let me say that again for the ladies in the back. I have the utmost respect for him, my country boy, my husband, because he does not abuse the privilege that I've bestowed upon him to lead our family. I granted him that right because he's a man's man, because he takes care of his family. Through rain, sleet, hail, snow, lack of sleep, physical pain, obstacles, he is so focused and committed on taking care of us. So because that's the type of man he is, I willingly gift him with the privilege of leading our family. At the same token, I've shown him how thorough I am as a woman. Even though I'm from the city, my roots are Southern. My mom was from Mississippi. My dad was from Newark, New Jersey, so I got a little East Coast swag. But my mom, who raised me on her own, was from Mississippi. Excuse me. My god-grandmother from the Carolinas. So when those two women raised me, they had the influence upon me to be what people think to be a country woman. And I'm not. I'm from the city. But I was raised by women that taught me things on how to treat my man. So because I've shown him I'm thorough, just as thorough as he is, because I showed him I have his back, because I showed him that when he needs help or when he don't have it, I got it, because I've shown him that I love him unconditionally, because I've shown him that I can whip up meat and potatoes like no other, he trusts me enough and has gifted me with the privilege of having input on decisions. There's a lot of times I ask my husband to do something or make a decision for us, and he'll throw it back and say, well, babe, what you want to do? And sometimes I just want him to make a decision, yo. Like, babe, just make a decision. However, I appreciate the fact that he values my intelligence. He values my fairness. He values my balance. He values the work that I consistently do on myself as a healed woman. He values all of that so much that he includes me in a lot of the major decisions. And this is why I say a lot. Sometimes he'll make a decision that he know I don't want no parts in, and he'll just say, babe, here, I did this. What you think? Do you want to look at it? I say no, and he say, okay. Because I can walk away and trust that he's made the best decision for our family. Flip side, if he's working on something and he wants to get my input, and he knows that I am great at being objective and that I'm great at weighing pros and cons without any commitment or any bias, then we'll sit down and we'll talk about things together. Same token, I know that there's things and decisions I can make for our household without telling him. And I can just say, hey, babe, I did this and this is why. And he doesn't bat an eyelash. To me, that's what submission looks like. To me, it looks like I can do it because I've been doing it. But why should I? My man is here to do it. However, if he needs me, got his back like that. That's what submission looks like to me. It don't make me feel like I'm not woman, hear me roar. It don't make me feel like it's the 1950s and I'm just supposed to be seen and not heard. And when we're out in public, I defer to his judgment. Especially if a man approaches me and asks me a question. Hold on, let me ask my husband. Do you want to do that? Hold on, let me ask my husband. Because I need the people in the streets to see that I submit to, that I trust, that I believe in my husband, and that my husband takes the lead. Now, there's been plenty of times we've been out together. I defer to him in front of whoever, and he will say to me, babe, no, you got it. Boom, I step up. And I got whatever he said it is. Whether we're ordering something, whether we're organizing something, whether we're making a decision about something, whether we're planning something. And we've been together long enough that I kind of know when he's going to say, no, you got it, versus, okay, he'll step up. But it's just in me. It's weaved in my DNA to allow my husband to lead and to refer to him. And to kind of have him give me the okay or the head nod to move forward. Now, that's if we have the time for that. If it's something I got to make a decision on the fly and he knows me, I'm a researcher, read reviews, make phone calls, check references, like he knows that about me. So usually when I make a decision independent of his opinion, he knows I done did thorough. Do I get them all right? No. However, the ratio of success is high. So he trusts me. Woo! This was a good conversation. I'm going to finish the rest of my food. I only got a couple bites left. I'm probably going to throw it back in the microwave. We're going to end this right here for now. And I'm going to ask you to jump down in the comments and let me know what you think about what I said, what you think about what Jeannie Mai is saying. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Will you try this new meal at La Rosas? Do you like my swooped edges? Like, let me know what y'all think about this topic in the comments. Share this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, give it a like. And if you have any suggestions on future topics for Mental Health Mukbang, I will put the link to my website in the description box. You can feel free to send me a message there. If you are a business owner or a manager at a restaurant and you want to sponsor a future Mental Health Mukbang, the link to my website is in the description. You can send me a message and I will be happy to reach out for you to coordinate either getting the meal or getting the gift card to go purchase the meal, and I will hype you up. Come and hype you up in my next video. Mental Health Mukbangs are typically, supposedly uploaded on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We got some new equipment, so we're just now getting back on our schedules. So just stay tuned. And again, you won't miss any upload if you're subscribed. Check out my podcast on all major podcast platforms. Mental Health is Sexy with Coach Vee from the 513. I will put that link in the description box as well. And I think that's all for now. Until next time, be blessed.